I want to show you guys some really great framing of an argument from Donald Trump here. This is basically a clinic on how to win an argument and make a strong political point. Trump, I think, was underestimated all along. You know, the pundits' reactions to him from day one prove that. Now, we were one of few people who said, no, this phenomenon is real and he could win. He could fucking win. And then he won. So others were wrong on this, and I think they're missing the strength of the framing and how even if you can see through it, many people can't see through it. So let's watch what I'm referring to here, and then I'll come back and break down why this is so effective.
Today is Rare Disease Day, and joining us in the gallery is a rare disease survivor, Megan Crowley. Megan was diagnosed with Pompe disease, a rare and serious illness, when she was 15 months old. She was not expected to live past 5. On receiving this news, Megan's dad, John, fought with everything he had to save the life of his precious child. He founded a company to look for a cure and helped develop the drug that saved Megan's life. Today, she is 20 years old and a sophomore at Notre Dame. Megan's story is about the unbounded power of a father's love for a daughter. But our slow and burdensome approval process at the Food and Drug Administration keeps too many advances, like the one that saved Megan's life, from reaching those in need. If we slash the restraints, not just at the FDA, but across our government, then we will be blessed with far more miracles just like Megan. In fact, our children will grow up in a nation of miracles. But to achieve this future, we must enrich the mind and the souls of every American child. Education is the civil rights issue of our time. I am calling upon members of both parties to pass an education bill that funds school choice for disadvantaged youth, including millions of African American and Latino children.
That's dangerous, what he just did there, because the tactic was bait and switch. So he goes on and on about, well, look, Megan, Rare Disease Day. Oh, us Republicans, we care so much about helping people with rare diseases. So Megan had this issue, and, you know, thankfully she was supposed to die young, and she didn't die young. And we, oh my God, we care so much about Megan. Don't we love Megan? Everybody loves Megan. Megan's great. Megan's great. So anyway, that's why we need to slash FDA regulations. Wait, what? Yeah, Megan is wonderful. Oh, so you don't want to slash FDA regulations? I guess you hate Megan. I guess you're against Megan. I guess you would have been fine with Megan dying young. No, but those two things aren't logically connected. You build it up like you're going to say, and that's why we need to invest $1 trillion into curing rare diseases, or invest $1 trillion into curing diseases, to try cancer, whatever, anything. No, he builds it up like he's going to say something like that, and then he switches it at the last minute. And that's why we need to slash FDA regulations, which would make it so that you endanger more people. The reason why there's FDA regulations is so that unscrupulous, greedy drug companies don't push drugs for profit that are not that effective. And that happens all the fucking time. So we go, well, deregulate the FDA, slash the regulations, and then make it so that it's more the wild, wild west of, you know, regulation. Make it so that the drug companies are running wild and let them sell snake oil. No, but that's the problem. So it doesn't, you build it up and then you switch it to something that not only wouldn't solve the problem, it would make the problem worse. And then when you get to education, he goes, education is the civil rights issue of our time. Damn. So he's, again, liberal framing. So just like the we care about Meghan, liberal framing, compassion, empathy. Okay, we got to fix this problem. Government needs to be involved to fix this problem. Then you switch it. So education, civil rights issue. Oh my God, we care so much about these black kids and these Latino kids, which is why we need to privatize schools. What? Yeah, school choice is so important. No, but again, so when you have private schools, when you have school choice, as they call it, which again is misleading framing, that means that greatly benefits rich kids, because rich kids can afford to go to the private schools. Whereas, what they're doing here is what Trump is saying is, yeah, we're basically going to give up on the public schools, let the public schools rot away even more than they are right now in the inner city. Don't care about the funding for them. Don't care about, actually setting up a civil society where tax dollars pay for the education of the citizens, like in other civilized societies. Fuck that. Let's focus on school privatization. Let's focus on this policy prescription that would mostly help the rich and would screw over poor people, would screw over people of color. So again, a bait and switch. Education is the civil rights issue of our time, which is why we need to do a policy that would make it worse and would burden poor people even more by doing school choice. So this is dangerous because what you're doing is you hook the people who don't know much about these issues, and they're going to walk away going, oh, look, Trump cares about rare diseases and Meghan, and that's why he wants to slash FDA regulations. So obviously that's the good idea, right? Obviously that's the solution. He tells me that's the solution. So if you care about really sick people, slash FDA regulations. Well, look, if you care about poor kids and black kids and Latino kids, well, what you got to do is you got to privatize the school system, even though that would exacerbate income inequality and would exacerbate the gap between rich and poor. It would make it so that rich kids get better educations and poor kids get worse education. So, Jesus, man. That's dangerously good framing. And again, I don't think the Democrats are prepared for this. They were never good at arguing. That's why Bush got almost his entire agenda through. George Bush almost got his entire agenda through, except the only thing he didn't get through was privatizing Social Security. But they got everything else through because the Democrats don't know how to counter-argue. They don't know how to frame arguments. So here you have an instance where, again, the Democrats are screaming at a pine cone about Russia, and Trump is running circles around them when it comes to framing, and he's got a majority in the House of Representatives, he's got a majority in the Senate, and now things like this are a serious, proposal on the table to do school choice and more privatization, which is worse for poor people, and to do something like slash FDA regulations, which would be a disaster on many fronts, including when it comes to food. I mean, Trump said we got to get rid of the FDA food police. Well, that's great. So more E. coli outbreaks, salmonella outbreaks, and you pretend like you're for the people as your policies would lead to more out-of-control diseases.